We're holding now a few days before Yom Kippur. In Masechtas Yoma, the first 7 prakim describe the service they did in the holy temple, the Beis Hamikdash, and the last Perek Ches, deals with the Issa v'Heter. It deals with the permitted and the prohibited aspects of the day. And the Perek discusses the halachas, the dinim that apply in all times and all places. So the first Mishnah discusses the prohibitions on Yom Kippur. So Mishnah, Yoma Kippurim asur ba'achila uv'shasiyo uv'rechitza uv'sicho nilas hasamo. Yom Kippur is forbidden in eating, drinking, washing in water or any other liquid, uv'sicho, anointing in oil, and nilas hasando, wearing leather shoes, uv'tash shamita, marital relations. V'hamelech v'akala. Now the Mishnah lists certain leniencies that apply to washing. So hamelech v'akala yirchetzu espaneh. The king, a king, and a bride is permitted to wash their face on Yom Kippur. Now it says a king. The reason why a king could wash his face is because a king always has to present himself in a beautiful, attractive manner, and a bride could wash her face because in order that she should appear attractive for her husband. A bride in this context refers to 30 days after a chuppah. If you look in later halachic authorities, they actually say that even a bride shouldn't wash her face because the husband is in shul anyways all day, so it doesn't matter. V'achaya, and a yeledis, a woman that just gave birth, tinol as a sandal, she's permitted to wear leather shoes because if she walks on the floor is cold and that is dangerous for her, so she's permitted to wear leather shoes. Divrei Rabbi Lezer, these are words of Rabbi Lezer. V'chachamim oisrim, but the Chacham Aser, these Hatedim, the king, the bride, and the Yeledis. And the halacha in Shulchan Aruch, the halacha follows the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. Just an interesting thing, the Mishnah says Yoma Kippurim Aser, but we know that eating and drinking is not merely just a prohibition. It's actually a violation. It's a violation that carries the punishment of karos. However, not all eatings will a person be chayiv karos. Only a certain shir, and that's the second Mishnah. The Mishnah says, "What is the shir?" So the Mishnah says, "Ha'oichel keseves hagaso." Someone that eats a size of a large date. It and its pit, and someone that drinks a cheekful chayiv. That's the shear for a person to chayiv kados. So a size of a large date and a cheekful. Now, what's the size of a large date? So a size of a large date is a little less than a beitzah. It's bigger than a kazayas and smaller than a beitzah. And a cheekful is a person puts in his mouth liquid, and whatever he pushes to one side of his mouth, that's what's meloi lugmov, and that's what a person will be chayiv on Yom Kippur for. All foods are mitzdaref to keseves. So if a person eats a half of an orange and half of a cucumber, they're mitzdaref together for a person to violate the prohibition and to be chayiv karos. V'chol hamashkin mitzdaref lo lugmov, and every liquid is mitzdaref to cheekful. So a person, it doesn't matter what liquids a person drinks, it's mitzdaref for a person to be chayiv karos. However, oichel v'shoisa ein mitzdarfim, but someone that eats and drinks, that's not mitzdaref. So a person takes a half of keseves, takes a half of apple, and then he drinks half a kesevis of orange juice, he wouldn't be chayav kares. However, there's just for the record, chatzi shir, half of the amount is always aser. There's a machlekes between Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. If it's aser min ha-Torah, aser min Rabbanon. We pass like Rabbi Yochanan that a chatzi shir is aser min ha-Torah. He learns it out from pasuk. It says kol chelev, so that teaches us that by all isurim, the iser min ha-Torah applies even for a chatzi shir. However, a person only gets the punishment if he eats the shir. Okay, Mishnah Gimel. Achal v'shasa behelam hechad. If a person eats and drinks in one concealment, meaning if a person forgets that the day is in Kippur, or if a person doesn't know that eating and drinking is forbidden in Kippur, and he eats and drinks, so ein chayev ela chatas achas. So he only brings one chatas. Why? Because he only did one prohibition. Because eating and drinking is considered one prohibition. You're not allowed ta'anus nafshasechem. You have to afflict yourself, and eating and drinking is considered one iser. So he did one iser in one helam, in one concealment. So therefore, he's only chayav one chatas. However, achav asa malacha. But if a person ate and did a malacha, chayav shtei chatos. He did two isurim. He ate, which is one iser, and he did malacha, which is another iser. So he's chayav two chatos. Now, if a person eats food that are not ro'eh la'achila, not fitting for human consumption, or drinks a drink that's not ro'eh for drinking, and the example is v'shasa tzir umurios. So someone drinks fish brine or fish fats. Yeah, sounds appetizing. Potter, he's potter, and of course it's potter, but a person will get malchus mardus for eating such foods. But however, person is potter from kadus, but aser. Mishnah Dalet. Hatinoikos ein ma'anim oisam b'yom kippurim. Children, we don't afflict them on Yom Kippur, meaning we don't hold them back. It's actually machlokes. Does it mean that we don't hold them back from eating, or we feed them on Yom Kippur? Aval, however, mechanchim oisam lefnei shana for the fnei shasayim, but we educate them, we train them a year before and 2 years before. And the Gemara asks, if it says, why does it say 1 year and 2 years? It should say 1 year, 2 years. Which one is it? So the answer is that if the child is healthy, then it should be 2 years before. If the child is not so healthy, then it's 1 year before we train him. And the reason why we train him is in order that this child should be trained in fulfilling mitzvahs. Mishnah Hey.
A year or two before what?
What?
A year or two before what?
Oh, before he turns bar mitzvah.
Or bas mitzvah.
Or bas mitzvah, yeah. Hey. Ubra she'ericha. A pregnant woman that smells food. So we know that a pregnant woman, that she smells a food and she desires it, and she doesn't eat from it. It's a danger for the woman. It's a danger for her child that she's holding in her. So ma'achilin oisoi ad shetashiv nafsha. We give her to eat until her mind becomes settled. Choyle, and a sick person. A sick person, we feed him based on the opinion of experts. So if the doctor says that this person is a chayla and needs to eat, so we feed him on Yom Kippur. If he made sham became, if there's no experts around and the patient is saying that he needs to eat, so we feed him on his own admission. The pasuk says. Pasuk says, okay, I forgot it this time. and we feed him until he says enough. So, Mishnah Vav, Misha Achsei Bulmus. If someone is seized with bulmus, bulmus is a sickness that a person gets when he's extremely hungry, and its symptoms are that his eyes he loses his vision, and it's a life-threatening condition. So, if a person gets bulmus, we feed him even impure things. I mean, we feed him even non-kosher because it's life-threatening, and anything that's life-threatening, the Torah says that if something is life-threatening, then the Isser gets pushed away. So we feed him we feed him until his eyes till he sees better, till his vision returns. Misha Noshchoi Bekelev Shoita. Someone gets bitten by a bad dog, a sick dog. So, the olden days, the medicine that they used if a person was bitten by a sick dog, was they gave this person from his liver, from the dog's liver. So the first opinion holds that we don't give him from the chatzar kevish, the side of his liver, because this opinion believes that this method wasn't a complete refuah gemura, complete medicine. It didn't really do its job. So therefore you can't give it to him because it's a isser. However, Ramasa ben Chorosh permits it. Why? Because he holds that it is a refuah gemura, complete remedy. Void Amar Ramasa ben Chorosh, and furthermore a statement by Ramasa ben Chorosh, HaChoshesh begroin, if someone has a ailment in his throat, Matin loisam b'techpid b'Shabbos, so we place medicine in his mouth on Shabbos, because it's life-threatening. It's a doubt. It's a questionable life-threatening condition. And even a doubtful life-threatening condition pushes away Shabbos.